This is music, and this is pure evil. The legend that is Røger Kjørvik, or Røger Kjørvik, has reached 660 subscribers. Great channel. He shows a lot of extreme metal, but he's very respectful towards other people's taste in music. I think that's very admirable this day and age. It's one of those channels where you have to take notes when you watch his videos, because you will learn a lot about new bands you never knew existed. Great channel. I enjoy his content very much. So he's launched a contest to celebrate that he's reached 660 subscribers. There are two tasks: show 6 albums with evil album covers, and shout out 6 VC/music related YouTube channels. I want to celebrate his channel, so this is my entry. I'm going to start out by showing you 6 evil album covers. I've tried to go for not just demons and devils and Satan and all that stuff, but also other forms of evil. So first we have Blow and Freeze Enemy. I know this is kind of so bad it's good when it comes to the album cover here. The music is kind of hard rock, traditional metal, and it's just a drawing of Jack Nicholson. But to me, this represents the primal instinct in people to murder other people and take other people's lives. And in certain individuals, this inner evil is uncontrollable, and they even take pleasure in murdering other people. So this is basically, to me, the evil of a murderer. I know that because I think it's Jack Nicholson from The Shining, and I know that his character was possessed by an evil ghost or something like that. So that's another way in which this could represent evil. But to me, this is just the pure raw evil of a murderer, basically. Up next, some crossover thrash here. Toxic Waste, Death in Action. To me, this is the evil of pollution, which is destroying the world slowly. Actually, increasingly rapidly, which is scary. But also the evil of the carelessness and the scrupulousness behind pollution. The governments that don't care about doing anything about pollution, they might even encourage it. The big companies that deliberately pollute our oceans, our forests, our lakes, our rivers, the skies, whatever. I think that's a very real evil, which is captured here. And here you have Evil Dead, the Underworld. And somebody told me the name of this character. I think it's Mr. Sunshine. To me, this represents the evil of the elite politicians, the super rich, that step on everybody else to serve their own personal interests. The evil of capitalist consumerism, the evil of political one-upmanship order, and just, serving your own interests and stepping on the little guy and the little gal. That's what I see here. Great thrash metal too. Now some more kind of classic demonic kind of evil. Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness. You have this weird hellscape of demonic, evil looking faces. Classic piece of cover artwork. Classic death metal album too. So I figured it counts. More kind of old school evil here. Sacrifice, Total Steel, thrash metal. Some kind of demon, maybe even Satan himself, steel plated. Great stuff. And the last form of evil is again a kind of a real world evil. Zoetrope, Life of Crime. Great thrash metal, very underrated, very unknown, I think, to a lot of people. So here you have some pictures of the band, but also pictures of notorious criminals and leaders of crime organizations, all of whom have not just acts of crime, but hits, murders, and all that stuff under their kind of belt, or at least on their conscience. And I think that's a kind of evil too. So there you go. 5 evil album covers. Now to the 6 evil album covers. Now to the 6 shout outs. And I'm gonna cheat my nuts off here in this part of it, because I have like shared shout outs and so on and so forth. Let's see if I get disqualified. The first shout out goes to Christian Osorio in Chile. Shows lots of hard rock, alternative rock, traditional metal from the 80s and the early 90s. Lots of CDs, but also lots of cassette tapes as well. This dude just loves his music, and his videos are very laid back, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about them. Just a guy showing you CDs, talking about them, how much he likes them. Doesn't get any better than that. He's a big fan of Disneyland After Dark too, so do check out Christian Osorio. Next, No Solution. He does this cool thing that I can relate to a whole lot. He does follow-up videos where he discusses CDs that he has blind bought and offers arguments as to why he wants to maybe keep some of them and why he wants to get rid of some of them. And I think that's very interesting. And I also like the diversity that you see on his channel in terms of music. There's one video that literally went from Marillion to some obscure evil black metal band. I thought that was great. Okay, the third shout out goes to Nathan JJ, an Aussie who lives in Tokyo, Japan. He does these cool videos where he goes out and does some record shopping and comes back home, and then he talks about the albums as he listens to them. So that means that you're kind of there and you kind of get the first impressions along with him, which I think is great. His videos are a bit more long form, which I also appreciate. And this third shout out is shared with Rock and Metal Invasion, who shows and talks a lot about like glam metal from the 80s, hard rock from the 80s, traditional metal from the 80s, AOR stuff, the more hair metal kind of things. He also does relatively long form videos, and his channel is a treasure trove of hard rock, hair metal, traditional metal, glam rock bands from the 80s. So if you're interested in learning about that very important part of the history of metal, go to Rock and Metal Invasion. Okay, the fourth shout out goes to Paul DeVito, who shows a lot of CDs and who's just very supportive in his comments. He always has some encouraging remarks and always has a bit of a recommendation when he comments on your videos, and he comments on a lot of videos. He does videos himself. He does guitar covers. He also does CD updates. Very, very good stuff. Go and support his channel for sure. The fifth shout out goes to Pieface, who's also been active for many years in the VC, commented on lots of videos. He's recently started making videos himself. He's interested in extreme metal, but just like Roger, Pieface is very respectful towards other people's taste in music. And do check out his videos, great stuff. It's also one of those channels where you have to take notes because you're bound to learn a lot. And this fifth shout out is shared with Black Leather Eyes in Belfast, I think it is. And I'm a bit biased because I lived in Belfast for a while, but I do really enjoy his channel, not just because he lives in Belfast. He shows lots of original presses of early and mid 80s, also early 90s, traditional heavy metal and hard rock and thrash and some more extreme stuff as well. He has lots of cool original presses, and then he always has kind of weird, demented soundtrack music from exploitation music movies playing in the background, which I think is really cool as well. So check out that channel. And the sixth shout out goes out to Clark O Vision, who was one of actually the first channel to give this channel a shout out. which I really appreciate. She also does long form videos, focuses a lot on hard rock, melodic hard rock, and power metal and traditional metal. Great channel, very enjoyable videos. And I'm going to cheat and do a massive shout out to lots of other channels in the VC that have been very supportive, and they will appear in text somewhere on screen, and go and check out all those channels. But yeah, congratulations to Roger for reaching the 660 and surpassing that number of subscribers. Check out his channel. It's a great channel. Really great channel. Go and take notes, because you are going to be schooled. Thanks for watching.